My favorite
Yeah.
ones for talk, our guest for today is Troy Escartin. He is the husband to Klara and dad to Thor and Bella. He works as a software development manager and he also leads the couples ministry at the Feast Mall of Asia. And Troy was actually my classmate back in LaSalle MBA. And somehow we have kept touch. And now I know that since we're celebrating Father's Day this coming June 20, right? So we're celebrating fatherhood. So all our guests for June um, has the role of a father, has the role of a dad. And Troy is a perfect best friend for this month.
Wow. Nakaka-pressure yung perfect.
Perfectly imperfect. Oh,
Yes, yes.
let's all welcome Troy. Hi Troy, kamusta ka?
Hello, Brendy. I'm doing good. Yun pa rin ba yung tawag sa'yo? Michelle ba? Or Brendy?
Nalilito na yung mga tao, no? Hindi, kasi
Oo.
my family calls me Michelle, but my friends mostly call me
Okay.
Brendy. So, parang sabi ko, sige, I'll just use both names na lang para walang ano. But whatever is comfortable for you.
Sure,
It's
sure,
okay.
sure, sure,
Tell
sure.
me. So, kamusta
Thank
ka?
you. Eto, I'm doing good. Busy sa work. Despite the pandemic, actually, it's a bit more productive for us. There's a lot of discovery in terms of leadership, fatherhood. There's a lot that this pandemic had made me realize, made me uh, realize the things that I can do and then things na medyo I have some limitations. So ayun, sobrang it has been a blessing. Although yeah, to be not to be unfair for those who experience hardship, but at least in my case, I try to see things in a more positive outlook. So yeah, doing good. Busy talaga sa work. And ministry side, medyo medyo not as active kasi where everything is online and we are in the ministry of interaction, couples ministry. So we can't do that. So what we do is online. So medyo not as daunting as before, but still very engaging pa rin in our ministry. Overall, I'm doing good.
Oo, parang naalala ko nga yung kwento mo about the couples ministry. You really go out,
Yes.
have retreats, yung mga some encounter, yung mga
Kailan
gano'n.
nga ba yun? Parang 2019 yata ako nag-reach out
Yes.
sa'yo nun.
Oo,
Yes,
2019.
2019.
That was the
Yun.
time
Kasi,
when you started. You're
mm,
together with Clara, di ba? Both of you were leading the couples ministry.
yep. And that time, I remember kasi we are going to have another parang revamp of the ministry. So we are trying to replan, rethink. So kaya nag-reach out ako kasi I remember, ano eh, yun nga, because of your family
Ay, sa
ministry,
SEPAM, yung family
sa
ministries.
SIPAM. So
Yes.
baka we can pick your brains out of that course. Of course, I'm also studying, pero syempre iba rin yung I could learn from other groups, then see yung mga best practices that you guys are doing. So, ayan. And then, ang pinaka-takeaway ko dun sa meeting natin na yun was yung reparenting the child within. Sobrang tinake ko yun 2020. Exactly my birthday month, and it changed so much sa akin. Ang daming activities, ang daming learning. Pero yun yung pinaka-key takeaway ko nung gabi yun na. Kasi parang naalala ko after that meeting, parang, oh my gosh, kailan yung next? Kailan yung next? 2020. Nag-pandemic, sabi ko, kailan kayo yung next? Tapos, lo and behold, parang they facilitated it para mas konti lang yung attendees. So naka-attend ako October. So yun yung talagang parang pinaka-blessing to me nung gabi yun. Other than the things na naturo mo about ministry, yun yung pinaka na-actionan ko was yung reparenting the child within. So yeah, 2019 nga pala yun.
I love that you're studying at Don Bosco. Could you also share that? It's also very
Yeah.
interesting, yung
So
program
yeah,
doon.
it's I took that course with an intention to improve uh, my service in the ministry. Siyempre, as you know, background ko lang sa ministry, hindi ako laki sa community. So, when we started at the feast, we are just an attendee way back 2014. Fast forward 2016, 17, 18, we were serving na to the couples ministry. And then fast forward 2018, naging ministry head kami ng couples ministry. So parang, oh my gosh, if you can imagine, yung dati nag-small group lang, then we will be doing programs, formation for the couples. Parang, it's I felt like I'm not equipped enough for that. So I did reach out. I did had that intention pa way back 2017, 18. Tapos nag-die down yung intention to enroll. Tapos yun nga, fast forward 2019, we were again naman kit sa'yo, that was the year na we were trying to retake the Copas Ministry of the Feast Mall of Asia. And then we visited our dear priest friend. Actually, he's the formator. He's the one of our parang mentors in the Small of Asia, which is Father Michael Aguardia. He's also a teacher in theology in Ateneo. And he's the dean in Don Bosco School of Theology. So pag visit namin sa Don Bosco dito lang sa Parañaque, I'm like, gosh, ang ganda ng lugar. Parang I felt like, naalala mo parang God spoke to me and said, naalala mo ba yung intention mo na mag-aral? Oo nga no. Why not? Ganyan. Tapos, that time, wala pang major in family. Kasi Don Bosco School of Theology, the course that I took is Master in Pastoral Ministry. So it's a combination of pastoral care and theology, which is good kasi it helps you back whatever pastoral things that you're going to do. Pero back then it's just major in catechetics or youth. It so happened that in 2019 na-approve yung family ministry, major in family ministry. So sabi ko, so timing na I enrolled and then meron siyang family ministry. So what happens in that course is we get to have two subjects that is focused on theology. So sample yung sacred scriptures, introduction to systematic theology, mga ganyan, Mariology, anthropology, lahat ng mga GGG na yan itself. Pero it gets to be balanced with the major, which is family ministry. And we are so blessed to have an awesome professor, si Father Dennis Paes, who is really focused not just in priesthood, but he's also a psychologist, practicing psychologist who mentors families, couples. So, sobrang blessing niya. And it really helped me in our ministry, leading our ministry. Unfortunately, pandemic lang, but there's a lot of, I feel like this is a season where God is saying, learn more, para when things are available for you to start doing more, you're equipped. So yun, as I said, I started uh, to learn for service, but it turned out to be na it's more of learning for me. I get to know our faith, Catholic faith. Caveat lang, I used to be yung parang doubter, parang bakit ba may why do we have these things? Why do we have these sacraments? Why do we have etc. etc. Unfortunately, laki ako sa Catholic school. And yun nga, because of this course, it made me really appreciate, not just appreciate, but um, go depth to be more deeper in my faith. Na talagang parang when you ask me bakit ganito, I know why. And there's more conviction in me. So, yung pinaka na-appreciate ko dun sa course na yun is learning about our liturgy. Before kasi parang pag sinabi what's liturgy? It's the letter after H, parang ganyan. Parang ganyan. Pero now I have so much passion whenever it's being asked about me. Sobrang appreciate ko yung Mass, the Sacrament of the Eucharist, everything about our liturgy. And it helps me quote-unquote help couples. I don't want to say na I'm the one who's helping them, but I get to say things more concrete. Kasi before I would say, kunyari, Brother Troy, patulong naman, ganyan, we have this problem. So ako parang, everything is parang gut feeling lang, ganyan, parang feeling ko walang foundation whenever I would
Mhm.
try to say things. Now, kunyari, why do we want to get married in the church? Diba? Parang I get to have that codified words, more concise, more precise, more accurate in our catechism. Balance with practicality kasi we have this yun nga, subject of pastoral ministry. So, yun, overall, before it was more for the service. As I went through, I'm already second year. Next year, grabe, graduating na ako. Time really flies. It changed me. It's really for me. And that's what I love about sa Salesians of Don Bosco. It's when you enroll that course, originally you have this intention to serve and to give. But it will strike you first. And the more that you learn more about your faith, you learn how to give more. So yun yung pinaka na-appreciate ko doon. So much so that I fell in love with the Salesians of Don Bosco na si Thor, yung panganay ko, I enrolled him in Don Bosco Makati. Sabi ko, hindi pwede. Lasal tayo but sorry pero parang mas naramdaman ko yung heart ko na parang I want my son to experience this faith, this kind of expression of faith that Don Bosco has, which is yun, love for the poor, love for the youth. Galing sobra. So, yun. Not to mention yung mga klasiko ng mga sisters, mga priests na parang whenever I would see them, grabe, sobrang ramdam mo yung love nila. So, ayun, that's my overall experience with my master's degree in Don Bosco. I can go on and on with this, but yun lang. Yun yung parang pinaka how should I say this? Parang a high level description ng experience ko. I can go more and more. So, but yun.
Yes.
Siguro to
Yeah.
summary, in one term
Oo.
lang, in one term,
Mm.
we always say this, yung Saturday class namin, hindi siya parang class. It's like a retreat. It feels like a retreat. That's why it's changing us more than we are also learning. So, ayun, it's retreat.
Actually, it's a great experience to go through that. Kahit naman ako parang tinanong rin ako kaya mo ba mag-masters in theology and then take yung family ministries as a
Mm, mm,
kasi pwede yun sa Ateneo Pero parang
isa
too
side by
many.
side.
Oo, parang ako,
Ano masaya?
marami na. Pangalawang master na yan if ever. So, yun muna. But I don't think it's a coincidence. The next guest after you is a Salesian priest of Don Bosco rin.
Wow!
Yes. So,
Galing.
si Father Roger Miranda, I don't know if you know him, but he's a missionary kasi, based
Mm,
in Papua New Guinea. He's just
yep.
tinapos lang niya yung CEPAM this year. And then he's
Mm,
going back na in
mm.
2 months, ganyan. So, amazing. Parang he also, he has a lot of stories about the Salesian of Don Bosco.
Yes.
Mm. Okay nga yun. So, with this experience, kasi you're so different from the Troy that I've met back in 2011. O, di ba? Parang
True.
halos a
True.
decade. Parang, now that you're a dad with dalawa na, Bella is so young, baby pa talaga. What can
Grabe.
you share
Oo.
about fatherhood? How has it changed you? What do you love best about it?
Mm.
Ano ba yung story behind being the dad of Thor and Bella?
I will always say that you get to experience what is unconditional love when you experience having kids. Kasi your love for your wife is different. Parang siya, shared, siya. And also you're dealing with another adult. So you can discuss things, you know what, I felt offended about that. Can we manage this expectation? So may ganong conversation, you can discuss things, agree on things with your wife. Pero if you're dealing with kids, you can't say sa 1-year-old, you know what, I felt bad nung nagpuki ka sa dibdib. So can we not do that again? So there's no way of really trying to tell them what hurts and what not, what's what's okay. That's why I always say na yung unconditional love kasi you get to love them despite of parang ganon. Without expecting them to adjust, without expecting them to, sige na nga, I won't do that again, I'll be more, etc., etc. No, you can't. Well, as they grow older, yes. Pero at the early stage, may theory ako. Babies are cute because they are meant to be more annoying. Pero dahil cute sila, hindi ka mainis. Parang gano'n. No, just kidding. Pero
Pag
yun
anak
siya.
mo.
Uh, but yun yung pinaka ano. Kasi you will hear unconditional love dun sa faith. God loves you unconditionally. Okay. Good platitude, nice platitude. Pero when you experience it talaga through your kids, when you're actually doing your service to your kids, knowing na, alam mo yun, there's no way of getting something back, that's ano parang that's life-changing. At the same time, knowing na you're not going to get anything back, ano yun hindi, parang materially wala. But yung emotional joy mo when you serve your kids, doon mo na-realize na even though it's hard, even though they do things na can be hurting or can make you work from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and then going home and then mag-work ulit kasi alagaan sila, it's okay. Kasi parang you get to experience yung joy sa puso mo. Lalo na pag dalawa na to mention pag dalawa na, when they started playing together, yung panganay mo, you're taking care of the bunso, it becomes really, parang experience love. You get to see what unconditional love is. And yun, it changed my life because dati, syempre, single ka, kami ni Klara, uwi kami to 2 a.m. ng gabi from a night out, from watching movie, and then gigising kami hapon na, 4 p.m., mga ganyan. Before you can do that, when you have kids, uwi ka ng 2 a.m., wala kang choice, 6 a.m., gising ka na. So,
Routines pa rin no?
oh, there's no escaping that. But yun nga, you get to have that kind of joy knowing that you are serving someone. And it's I don't know how to explain it. I don't have words the amount of joy that I experience when I take care of them. But it doesn't mean, don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean di ako nagagalit kay Thor. Doesn't mean to be honest, I do sometimes, not sometimes, I do shout at Thor pag talagang hindi na nakikinig. I still get stressed pag kunyari, minsan nagtatalo yung dalawa. Si Thor would be annoying his baby sister. Nakakainis yun. Parang tahimik na yung mundo. Huwag mo payakin yung But still, in the end of the day, you still find joy. You still feel God's love through what you're doing and your full tank is full. Ako personally, when I would take care of them. So that's, to me, there's a lot of things na I could share in terms of fatherhood. But to me, yung experiencing that unconditional love that we are saying when we say God loves you unconditionally, I get to experience it through my kids. So yun ang pinaka key takeaway ko that's life-changing because of fatherhood.
Actually, parang ang napansin ko nga the younger dads nowadays, they're more hands-on. Parang they
Hmm.
can also fill up the shoes of the nurturer. Kasi ang traditional
Mm.
role is the provider, the protector.
Mm.
But ngayon na kakalo na. And even the moms can be the protectors and the providers as well. So
True.
there's an integration of that.
Yep.
Ako lang, ito ba si Thor? Parang younger pa rin yung nasa isip ko eh.
Malaki na siya because of, I don't know, nakakatawa we're talking about going back. Kunyari, when we go back to our community, going back to the feast, biglang, oh my gosh, from 4, biglang 6 na siya ngayon. From 3, biglang 4 na kami. Nakakashock. Siguro, yung mga anak nung ka-couples namin before, lang, elementary, ngayon, senior high na, mga gano'n. So, there's a lot. Ang laki na rin nito, it's, sobrang nakaka-bless. I really feel so blessed whenever I will see him kasi I'm sure you've heard of this when the parenting for our kids is from 0 to 7. Pagdating ng
Yes.
7, it's game over. And dyan lalabas yung mga foundational things that were trying to plant in their heart when they were 1, or actually when they're 0, when they're still in man, when
Oo.
they're 1 or
Yung
2. So,
formative years kasi yung before 7 eh.
yes.
Mm.
So, yun, I feel
He's
like,
6 right now.
mm,
6 siya ngayon. Oh, may time ka pa.
mm, oo. So, sobrang nakaka-bless kasi parang siyang adult, very mature, and yet very playful at the same time. So,
Oh,
ayun.
kinukulit niya yung baby sister niya.
Which, he takes that from me kasi ganun din ako dun sa sumunod sa akin when we were still young. Ako yung nang-aanoy. And annoying ako sa mga yaya namin, annoying ako dun sa mga kasama namin sa bahay. So, kaya minsan, that's something that I learned also in fatherhood. You get to learn more about you when you see your kids. And ang maganda nun, you have a choice. Ako nun, whenever my mom would go to work, iyak ako. Si mami ko magagalit. Ano ka ba? Iyak ka nang iyak. Aalis lang ako. Sabi ko, mami, miss kita eh. Kaya iyak na iyak. Ganyan. So pag si Thor yung gumaganon, he's going to cry, lalo na ng mga 3 to 4 niya. Iiyak yan pag-alis kami sa work. I don't get mad kasi I know why he is doing that kasi mamimiss niya kami. So you get to parent better because you're learning na hindi this is coming from a
Mm.
place of a child who's going to miss his parents. So why would I be mad? So yun yung pinaka parang dami ko natutunan talaga sa sarili ko na parang number sample. Si Thor magaling sa math pero hina sa spelling. That's me. Sagutan mo na siya ng math. He's learning addition, subtraction. Ngayon, he's entering multiplication at age 6. Ganun na yata yung studies ngayon. So, he's good at that. Pero pag spelling, ay good luck. At tinatawag ko talaga si Klara, Warby, ikaw na magturo ng English kasi medyo, alam mo yun, naiinis na ako eh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you're also aware that in every experience that you're going through, you're learning more about yourself. Like what
Mm-mm.
happened in theology, parang you get to know your faith more and you get to know yourself more. And then at the same
True.
time, being a husband and being a dad to Thor is also the same. So ang lakas ng discernment.
Yes. Yes. I speak some. Later.
Mm.
Ayan, sample yan. Clingy siya.
Okay lang yun, kids. So yun,
True.
ang daming discernment and it really made you very self-aware.
Yep.
You're very aware of who you are. Ano yung mga ano yung mga challenges mo in, in being the best dad?
Grabe. Siguro yung my own brokenness. I'm very impatient. But at the same time, if you think about it, God put your kids there to change you also. So yung impatience ko, di ba? It's either you give in and be impatient or you pray to God, Lord, I can't do this. I need you to give me more patience. And then you become more patient. So, alam mo yun, parang everything is designed to make you love more. Yun yung lagi sinasabi sa amin ng family ministry. You get to experience love primarily in the family. And you change, you become better inside the family. So yun, I'm very impatient. So it's really my brokenness. That's my challenge. Kasi um, pag medyo maliliit lang, kunyari, magsaserve kami, and then I have to be early at the feast, nagagalit na ako pagka, kunyari, maliliit kami. So, yun is sa mga challenges. Initially, nung I was, nung before Thor was, born, I have doubts on myself. Can I do this? Can I really be responsible to somebody's life forever? Alam mo yon?
Forever na nga.
can,
Yeah.
can you, can you, ako hindi ko ma-fathom before na there will be someone who would be relying on you until they are alive. Until I'm alive. Imagine mo yung ganun. So parang na-overwhelm ako. Plus at the same time, alam mo naman yung issues ko, may mga times na I feel like I'm so unworthy of the things that I do. Something na na-address ko sa RCW. But now, parang yung mga ganong bagay na am I qualified? Can I do this? Am I equipped? Yan yung pinaka naging challenges ko before na-surpass ko naman. So that's another thing. The third na challenge is I'm also very career driven. So yun yung isa sa mga major challenge na how do I strike balance between trying to be, you know, to be better in my career, of course, because I want to provide for my family. At the same time, my dreams and aspirations also for myself. Of course, always to give back to others. So yun, how do I balance that and becoming a good dad? On the other hand, becoming better in my career, in my craft. So yan yung next na challenge na I had to balance with. Um, ano pa ba? Balancing my married life and my fatherhood. It in family ministry, what your God comes first and then your wife. Always tuntua ako dun eh. How to we had this topic sa family ministry namin. How to fail-proof your parenting. Sabi sa amin ni Father Dennis, take this down. I have 10 steps. Remember this. If there's something that you need to remember, I don't ask you to memorize anything in this course. This one, I'm asking you to memorize it. 10 things to fail-proof your parenting. Alam mo ano sinabi niya? Kasi kabisado ko yun eh. 10 things na memorize ko yan. Alam mo ano?
No, game.
Sige. I'll share to you. Love your wife, love your wife, love your spouse, 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 love your spouse.
Oo.
Kasi everything stems from that foundation. So yun, balancing that out. What else? I think those are the things na I experienced as a challenge. It can just be three, but to me those are big things. And trying to balance everything is such actually it's not balance, it's harmony na nga. So how can I synergize those things and make it work? That's why I always believe that fatherhood lies always in grace. uh, I can't I can't do anything. I am nothing without God's grace kasi hindi ko ma-imagine, sa totoo lang, hindi ko nga alam kung paano ako naging tatay in the last 6 years. That's my realization. Paano pa ako naging tatay? Am I good enough? I stopped asking, am I good enough? Instead, I would always say, how can I be better today? Yun yung nagiging realization ko. Kasi 6 years has been a long. And nag-birthday siya
Oo.
May 24. Parang, oh my God, 6 years na kami tatay. Parent. Tapos minsan kami ni Klara at night, we'll just look at our kids na parang, kunyari si Bella nandiyan na, tinatanong ko siya, have you imagined na magiging dalawa yung anak natin? Parang, hindi eh. And na-imagine mo ba na we are able to do this for the last 6 years? Hindi rin eh. So
Oo.
yun. It's only 3, but to me it's big. It's big, and I believe I am not the one who are able to address those 3 things. I'm still addressing it, but I believe it's God's grace that's allowed me to at least on a daily basis win against those 3 challenges na yun.
Mm. Pero yung pinaka nagustuhan ko is yung sinabi mo is the importance of your marital relationship versus the parental relationship. Kasi yun yung nakakalimutan ng couples
True,
minsan,
true.
the
Number one,
relationship with the spouse. Of course,
yes.
your relationship with God is also important,
Mm,
but
mm.
second yung marital and yun yung
Yep.
nakakalimutan, and that's the foundation of the family. So
Yes,
it's
yes.
good that you brought it up right now. So talking point yun for those who are watching this. Ayun. Pero you've mentioned earlier that 'di ba ang formative years talaga ng mga bata is 0 to 7, and lahat na ng values na puwede mong ituro sa anak mo talagang go during this time. It really has to be reinforced all the time. Ano
Yep.
ba yung mga values that you'd want them to
Mm.
espouse when they grow up?
Actually, if there's something na yung value, before ang dami kong iniisip eh. Pero as I journey with my own faith, alam mo, isa lang yung value na gusto ko talaga matutunan nila. It's fear of God and to believe in God and to have their hope anchored in God. Kasi you can experience so much, pero if you have that one thing that you can hold on to, kahit wala na kami, they'll still have that hope. Kahit wala na kami, they could still find confidence eh. So yun yung value na gusto ko talaga makuha nila. In fact, yun nga, when I learned so much about the sacrament of Eucharist, nagbago yung perspective ko lalo na sa faith natin eh. And yun, every time na we go to Mass, yun yung, I always whisper to Tor na, Jesus is with us now. Ganyan. So, yun yung gusto ko. If there's one thing, there's so much, but if there's one thing na gusto ko talaga ma-instill is yung faith. Kasi we might not be here for the long time na they will be living beyond our lifetime. I hope sabay kami, but we don't know. There's just one thing na certain, which is yun nga, faith in God. And yun yung pinaka-prayer ko sa kanya. Because it's as experience ko, we can bring them to church every Sunday. We can bring them to Youth for Christ, Singles for Christ. Pero if they don't experience God in their most personal experience, yun yung prayer ko na, Lord, sana dumating yung time na talagang, gosh, I experience God. I experience God's love. So, yun yung prayer ko para kahit na, alam mo yan, kasi ako, I get to experience that sa adult days ko na eh. In-experience ko, what if I experience that nung mas bata-bata pa ako? By experience meaning, kasi what I realize is I've been experiencing God since childhood, pero na-concretize ko lang na God was really with me nung adult na ako. Nung nag-look back na lang ako na, He was with me all along. Parang ganyan. And what if I realized that at an early age? I don't know. God has a purpose for everything. Pero if I can ask God na, can you just make Him experience your love as early as now? Sold na ako. So, yun yung if there's one thing that I want to have that value na it's God's fear in God, have faith in God, and them to experience God in the most personal way, experience God's love. Other than that, syempre nandyan yung confidence na street smart. I'm not expecting them to be ako kasi personally I'm not a numbers person when it comes to grades. What I want him to see is how he applies the things that he learns from school. Yes, the numbers are good. It's an indication of what you have accomplished. Pero I want that to be used in practice. I want him to be practical. I want him to be street smart, then resilient, and yung emotional quotient niya to be up. Yun yung mga values that I want them. Not so much on the academic kasi you can learn that eh. The rest kasi is experiential. So how do I get to to make them learn that through experience, through my fatherhood. So kanyari minsan may mga sample si Bello madadapay. I don't just come here, come here. I give them chance to, parang to gather themselves. And then, ako ito yung line ko, pag Bella would fall down, baby girl, look at me. Look at me. You're strong, you're brave, stand up. Ganun lang. If he continues to cry, di okay. Pero sometimes, she'll stop crying, I'll just offer my hand, she'll stand up. So to me, it's foundational. Parang yun eh, that's something na you get to experience eh. It's more of, you could say that you have to be strong, pero if they don't experience it, they can't practice it. So, yun yung mga values and attitudes na I want them to really experience. Resiliency, be more confident on what you have. Kasi ako, personally, I have a lot of insecurity. So, yun.
Maganda siya, yung mga values that you mentioned. And we all know that resilience is a very, very
Yes.
important values that children nowadays, the youth has to really
Mm.
embody. Marami kasi ang nahihirapan with
Especially
certain
exposed ka.
situations.
you'll be exposed with social media eh. And you'll see na, ay, ba't ganito lang kami, ganito sila. You get to, hindi mo may, you will always say, don't compare. Pero it's something that they can't avoid. But if they have resiliency, okay lang. I'll push through. And I don't, and nga, going back to my value of fearing God, I know that God has a purpose for me. So I'll be resilient. Kaya if you notice, everything goes back to that very core that I want them to really have, which is fearing God and faith in God. Kasi if you have that, kahit wala na kami saan, kahit in the background na lang kami, alam mo yun, done deal ka na when it comes to, pag
Oo.
kailangan, we know that at age 16, 17, going up, ano ka na lang eh, coach ka na eh. Yung comment mo is ano na lang eh, by request na lang. Hindi na siya, pwede mo pag tinanong na lang kita, magbigay na lang. Ano mo yun, you don't know
Oo.
when will that happen. May darating yung time na your words will be as needed na lang. So, ako personally, that's my dream na I hope tumating yung time na Thor and Bella would just come here when they really, really, really need me. Which tells me that everything that we taught them is working. So, yep.
Oo. Kaya mo na-realize yung shift na when you were questioning yourself, doubting yourself, and then now there's this assurance, there's a
Mm,
certain inside of you when it comes to how to be a good parent. Ano
mm,
ba yung nagkaroon parang may shift eh somehow.
mm.
Oo.
Well,
How
the,
did it led to that?
so don't get me wrong, parang I haven't figured everything out.
Yes, of course
Oo.
naman.
Ang medyo religious platitude to, but it's always I'm relying on God's grace. Yun lang talaga. On the practical side, siguro yung number one yung RCW, that really helped me. Kasi kahit I was taking masters do sa Don Bosco, it was realizing the faith. Pero yung psychological part, what I realize is, it works hand in hand eh. Yes, kasi minsan everyone is, they just pray, you can do that, you can change. But I believe God works in different ways. And to me, it was the psychology that helped me reshape my mind to see beyond my imperfection and rely on God's grace to support whatever my limitation would be. So, to be honest, yung RCW really changed the perspective in me, knowing that I can't do everything the way I wanted to be. So, in terms of confidence, yun lang. I think because I love what I'm doing. Before, I'm coming from a place of I I I I can't lose or I can't be a good dad kasi ganito. Baka ganyan, baka magkamali, baka they would fail, parang ganyan. But because of RCW, it made me realize na parang magkakamali ka. Boy, hindi pwedeng hindi. But if you chose to go into the place na I want to love more, that helped me, again, win dun sa three challenges na sinabi ko. Win against those three challenges on a daily basis. So yun, that gave me some blanket of comfort, blanket of confidence na today is going to be a better day. I may not be a good father yesterday, but today could be a better day. So yun. Meditation actually, yung pinopromote mo. Um, I did a lot. It's one of the things that my psychologist gave me to meditate daily. Actually, simple lang siya. Um, I would start with, Lord, can you help me experience your love today? Ganun lang, for 5 minutes. And then tahimik lang, quiet time lang. It helped a lot. Mga insecurities ko was addressed there. And yun, I think if may shift, it's not that I'm so confident. It's more of meron na akong pinangahawakan na if I do fail, may sasalo. I just have to give my best, and then yun, focus on just loving my kids. Yung joy of loving. Dun ko na rin, as I mentioned before, I'm coming from a place where natatakot ako na baka mag-fail. Nag-shift yun to a place of ang saya magmahal, di ba? ang sayang mahalin yung anak mo, ang sayang mahalin yung asawa mo. That changed everything. So from a place of fear to a place of love, that really changed a lot from my perspective. But of course, in everything, I won't be able to do that if not without God's will. So yun lang. I had a lot of challenges last year. Kaya nga rin ako nag-RCW. And there were a lot of things that was addressed because of that meditation, experiencing God's love. So yun yung pinaka, to me parang a big shift. Hindi ko pa natanong sa asawa ko yan kung may nagbago ba sa akin. But, ayan.
So you attended RCW's reparenting the inner child on your own or with Klara?
It was me first. And then, ang
Mm,
target is this year. Actually, dapat start of the year. Pero kasi, di ba medyo magulo pa. And then, nag-ECQ na
yes.
naman. So,
Oo.
parang medyo uncertain pa. Siguro pag mas naging certain, I think they're trying to do way back April and March. Ito parang yung um, through online. Hindi ko alam kung nag-push through yun. Hindi ko na nakikita,
Ibang
nasundan.
experience pag online kaysa sa
Oo,
face
alam
to
mo naman,
face
alam mo
talaga.
yan,
Yes.
alam mo yan,
Oo,
di ba? May mga
'di
session
ba?
dyan na I can't imagine doing it. I'm pretty much sure if it's God's will for you to experience it, you will experience it. Pero
Yes.
again, on a natural experience, on a physical experience, iba rin talaga siya. So kaya yun,
Yeah.
we would prefer to have it sana on a face to face pa rin. Kaya yun.
Mm. Yes. And kasi ngayon parang there's you're very aware that you're covered by God's grace, and there's a level of certainty when it comes to following your truth and just loving.
Mm-mm.
Parang there's joy in loving.
Yep.
Ah, ano yung puwede mong i-share sa amin? How you
Mm.
follow your heart and your truth in aligning to God's
Mm.
will?
Actually, to me, what I realized last year, sabi ko, ba't ang dami kong, what, again, I'll go back to this brokenness of mine before na, ang dami kong issues. I've been attending a lot of retreats, but never na-attend dun yung parang deepest brokenness in me. But when it was tapped, a lot has changed. And that's where my realization comes in na parang, I know faith, but I didn't really know faith. Meaning, I can just utter words and do actions and say religious platitudes and won't mean anything to me. So parang ang nangyari sa akin, I went back to really just experiencing God's love. Doon ako nag-start. To be honest, talagang a lot, if ma-experience mo yung talaga yung joy of, yung kaya yun din yung prayer ko ay gano'n, parang saan ma-experience mo yung love mo in a most personal way. Um, I know it happens during the Eucharist, but syempre, experiential, we are people of experience eh. Baka we can experience through hardship muna and then God will help you from that hardship. And then lo and behold, yeah, I know you God more na. So mga ganong experience ka. But yun, to me, that was the start na to go back to really just experiencing God. So this year, yun yung naging parang plan ko to just meditate on God's love. Medyo nag-low key ako sa scriptures, ganyan. Although meron naman still, but yun nga, yung meditation ko has been very simple lang. Quiet time, as in quiet time. Before, hindi ako nakakapag-quiet time ng 30 seconds. So and then I can go for not,
Very hyper, no?
yung utak ko parang ganyan. And then after really experiencing yung nga, yung practicing meditation, I can go from less than 30 seconds to go beyond 10 minutes. Nagulat nga ako, oh my gosh, bitin, parang ganun siya. So to be honest, there was really practical steps that I had to undertake. So there's the spiritual part wherein I had to really just experience God's love in a most authentic way. And then nandiyan yung practical stuff that I need to do. Kasi syempre, the spirit would flow in the physical things. So yun, meditation, and then trying to program really my mind to go beyond yung mga brokenness ko. And then yun,
Yeah.
once I had the spiritual part, followed by the practical part, syempre yung execution. So there's one thing that this year made my journey with my faith and with my transformation. May malaking nangyari this year. It's the year of Saint Joseph. So, yun yung pinaka talagang parang, oh my gosh, talagang totoo ba yung journey of faith ko would start in the year of Saint Joseph. So parang yun, on execution part, I always pray, Saint Joseph, can you just help me to become a better dad? Help me become a better husband. So yun, so I'm not saying na parang every time na may problema, oh, I know how to do it. Saint Joseph is with me. Hindi, syempre magkakamali ako. But meron na akong conscious part na, kunyari, I failed today. Meron akong consciousness not to do, at least be conscious enough to not fail on the next, parang on the next trial, parang on the next
Oo.
challenge of fatherhood. So yun lang siya, parang just becoming very conscious on the things that's happening. So spiritual part really blessed me, changed my, how do you say, the spiritual part, yan, ganyan.
Oo.
Next is on the
Spiritual part.
practical part. The practical part,
The
which is
human side.
yung one side,
Oo.
yan yung yung talagang conditioning of my mind. It helps me calm down, it helps me address my issues. Very, very practical to me. And then sa execution, just be more conscious, be more deliberate with
Oo.
my
Be
son. So
more
yun lang.
aware. Ayun.
Actually awareness lang kasi minsan, I'm not saying na hindi na ako nagkakamali. I always commit mistakes. Pero yung awareness na, oh my gosh, mali yun. Sorry, bawi na lang ako bukas, ganyan. So, it helps kasi I think you never naman magiging perfect. And then, at the same time, magbabago yung anak natin. So, you have to consciously change and adapt your parenting style. So, I don't think there's clear steps for me. It's more of a framework lang. I have to be spiritual. Seek the source, the supreme being that would give me the grace. Mentally to stabilize my mind, meditation, and then during execution, it's just need the awareness. Kunyari, dyan na, triggered ka, di ba? Na-raise yung triggers mo. Parang, sometimes magigive in ka, sometimes, oy, nalagpasan ko siya. So yun, it's just really just trying to do better next time. So yun lang yung
Oo.
3 steps ko for any
Yeah.
tips or
I,
sharing.
I love how structured your answer is. It really shows the software engineer mind that you have.
Kasama mo na rin yung Toastmasters, pa-plug ko na rin yung Toastmasters.
Mm. Saka napansin ko yung the word that you use, the joy of love. Parang that's a more
mm,
flirty.
correct. Correct. Actually, you I don't want to go kasi ang daming
Ang
before
daming ano.
I don't have much appreciation with the Pope ngayon. Sobra because of Don Bosco. Oh my gosh. Parang everything that I do, parang Pope Francis. Pope, ayan, nagsisimula na ako. Pope John Paul II. Grabe. But yeah, there's a lot of my parenting influenced by the Pope. Imagine mo yun. Grabe, parang yung Troy na 2011, pag nagpakita ako sa kanya, hoy, mag-aaral ka ng theology. Parang yung Troy na 2011, alam mo, naniniwala na,
Career.
ang sasabihin ni Troy na 2011, naniniwala na ako may demonyo. Kasi nandyan ka. Hindi ako yan. Pero sa totoo lang yun, that's how my life has changed. And siguro part was deliberate, but majority of it was just saying yes to God's call without knowing kung saan yan papunta. Or, attend ka ng feast, sabi ng asawa ko. Ang claim ng asawa ko, ayoko rin mag-feast initially. When in fact, I'm open with attending the feast before. So I said yes to the feast. Nagyaya yung asawa ko ng beloved, ng Lux, which is a couples ministry. I said yes. That led me to serving the couples ministry. That led me to leading the couples ministry. That led me to where we are now. So yun lang, it's just
Oo.
being
And at
open.
yes, being open and at every phase of your life, there's really a lot of learnings. You get to know
Mm,
more yourself more and your faith more. So may
yep,
maturity sa pagdating sa relationship with God. And
yes.
that's beautiful to witness. And actually now that I'm hearing your story, parang sabi ko, ang ganda talaga ng story ni Troy. And I super appreciate that you're sharing this to me and to my community at Highly Favored, and I wish you all the best. And thank you so much for giving us this time to,
Thank
I know
you.
it's syempre evening ngayon eh, dapat kasama mo yung asawa at mga anak mo, but you're sparing
Oo.
us this time. And I'm really grateful. So thank you so much, Troy, for your time and for
Yep.
your insights, your learnings. I also learned so much. In some ways, I can resonate with your journey. Medyo iba
Actually, I
lang
was, uh,
medyo iba
I,
yung
I,
path.
I was also surprised dun nung ano eh, di ba? When we were in MBA, pag-graduate ako nun, tapos nakita kita, you were teaching sa
Oo.
business, tama ba? Sa business
Yeah.
core, a business course. So parang
Oo.
tapos, fast forward, I don't know, 2017, 18, or
Oo, mga
basta nakita
17,
tayo ulit,
18.
parang from business to something really different from well, still can
Mm. So,
business can still be
counseling
applied
na
in
eh.
here.
Counseling and
Pero
family ministries eh.
parang grabe, parang tapos na na-share mo yung about the retreats and like wala lang, parang it's just amazing to also hear your story and yun nga, to share that parang ano na rin, quote and quote, soul to Paul story. Ang sarap ng meron kang maka-journey ng gano'n na parang, oh, well, dito. I'm not saying that we are all soul before. I'm just saying na there's a big
Mm-mm.
transformation from who we were before. So it's also a blessing
Yes.
to have you as a friend, lalo na nung parang we were trying to tinker about how we would reposition the couples ministry. I was able to reach out to and also experience yung ano that with you was my first time of attending coaching slash counseling. So
The
it made me
pastoral.
appreciate more. Yes,
The
yes. So
pastoral ang approach.
very
Yes.
very
Mm.
refreshing to know also. So thank you also
Oo.
for inviting and for considering me as a good dad.
Oh, actually tagal na nga tayo hindi usap tapos biglang pumasok lang talaga through after my
Mm.
prayers, si Troy
Mm-mm.
bagay. Sabi ko, "Okey, Troy."
Thank you
So
for the thought.
bulong 'yun ng angels ko. So
All right.
ano, it's all God's will naman and by His grace. And you'd also be surprised, I'm going back to Lasal to teach again. So it will be a
Oh.
combination na. So medyo
Ano,
mag-iiba yung
still in
form
business
ng
pa rin ba?
ministry. Oo, still in business. But then
Wow.
the counseling will still continue.
Galing, galing. Looking forward. Share mo yung kwento mo niyan pag ano. Kailan mag-start this term na?
Oo, this coming term. Oo. So
Galing.
iba na ulit. Sana ganito pa rin ang aura after.
Oo nga, oo nga. All
Thank you so
right.
much. Ano, we're extending na pero I'm really grateful for this catch up and for this kwentuhan. And for those
Thank you.
for those who are going to watch this, for the favored ones, remember that in life, God is always present and you just be surprised. Sino yung idadala niya sa buhay mo para
Yes.
may matuto ka ulit, may ma-learn ka ulit about yourself and your journey and to deepen your faith. So always trust and find the presence of God because it's just there. So God bless everyone. I wish you all a blessed evening. Take
Thank you.
care.
Bye.